and he's worked on Torchwood for Time magazines. His recent comic book, Jennifer Wilde, with Rob Curley and Maura McHugh, is currently nominated for an Eagle Award. And right now he is doing the sort of the media circuit for Know the Savage Boy, would that be right?
Yep.
Written by also by Belfast's own Mr. Malachy Coney. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, our artists. What we'll do is we'll do a sort of we'll talk briefly about how you get into it, just for anyone that's interested, sort of getting into this, into this sort of this line of work, how you get into it, what inspired you, and then we'll put a few questions out to the guys in the audience to see if they want to ask you. Is that okay? PJ, let's start with you. Okay. You were in IT.
I've always drawn comics. I've drawn comics from. I think I keep saying to people from age 7, but that's because I need to pick some random age to say. I can't remember ever not drawing comics. But it's only when you get older you realise actual people do that. That's an actual job. It's not that comics appear fully formed. And so it's only sort of in the later years you really pursue it as an actual job. So it's only the past few years I've been just doing comics. Up until then I've been doing comics and working on computers, which pays better.
That's it. Okay.
At the end. Well, something I always wanted to do. So.
Whenever it stopped becoming your hobby and then became something that you realised that there's a career, where did you start? What was your first?
Well, I think the first job you'd call professional, which is to say somebody paid me money to do it, was for 2018 drawing Judge Dredd, which was something I've always even, from a young age, drawing Judge Dredd. I mean, drawing comics is great. Drawing Judge Dredd is like a whole other level. As it happened to be the first job I ever got paid money to do, I was a bit sort of not sure what to do next. You kind of do that, you get your dream and you think, oh, I've done the thing I've always wanted to do. What do I do next? I don't know. Where do I go from here? So you kind of realise that you've got to. It's one thing to want to draw comics, but you really got to have an idea of what it really means, and what it means to have a career, what it means to do accounting and invoicing and all the other boring stuff you've got to do if you end up actually getting the thing that you want. You want to draw comics, but you spend 50% of your time doing invoices, chasing up bills and all sorts. It's not all glamour and excitement. I know it sounds like it is, but it isn't.
When opportunity knocked, so to speak, what was the contact? How did you get involved? How did this happen?
Oh, I wish I could say there was one single straightforward incident, but it's not really like that. When you're trying to break into comics, when you're slowly building a sort of you build connections and friendships, and you make friends with lots of people that are all trying to get to the same point that you want to be at. And I did some work with a writer called Holden and Stephen Downey, who was a writer for 2008, and I did some work in small press, where you're not being paid, you're just doing it for the love of doing it. But I did something with Gordon, and then I took my artwork to Andy Diggle, who was then editor of 2008, and showed him it. He said, I'll give you something to do. And then I phoned Gordon, who's a friend of mine, and went, I'm going to get something, I don't know what it is. And he went, well, Andy'll probably forget. If you leave it, he'll just forget about it. And Gordon says, well, I know I've just finished a Dredd for him. I'll just say, sure, why don't you give PJ a ring and give him? And that's essentially how you get the job. You don't get the job from just showing your artwork to someone. You build a big sort of a network of people that you know. And so that first job then was, Andy then kind of went, oh, I've got this Gordon Rennie Dredd. It's just occurred to me out of the blue to give it to you for no apparently good reason. And then, you do that one. And if it's not terrible, you might get another chance. And if it's not awful, you might get another. In fact, it was terrible, it was awful. And I sent it in to Andy and I went, I said, what do you think of that? And he went, well, not the best Dredd I've ever seen. I went, well, okay then. I'll just redraw all of it. He went, you don't have to do that. I went, no, I feel like if I don't redraw it, you're never going to give me any more work. He went, yeah, that's probably true. So I redrew it all and sent it all back. And it was marginally better, but I think the fact that I was willing to go that extra mile. It did take me, he offered me the job and he went, you want this Dredd? And I went, yeah, great. And he sent me the script and I started sending the artwork in. And Gordon says, brilliant, how much are you getting paid? I went, oh, I have no idea. I haven't even asked him. It just hadn't occurred to me to ask. Because it's a job, so you expect to get paid, but when you're really desperate to get into it, you don't even think like that at all. You're just so happy to get to work. Now,
that someone writes it, usually someone pencils it, and or inks it, and then somebody colours it. So what I receive is the black and white line work. So it comes to me, it's just black and white, and I add the colour to it. So it does sound like I just do it with crayons, but the main task really of the colourist is to make the image 3D, so for there to be a sense of depth, that things are in the foreground and the background, and you set the mood and the tone. So you're always trying to work with what the other artist has given you and help tell the story. You know, is it nighttime? Is it daytime? Is it a moody scene? Is it a bright day? Is it a beautiful beach? Is it so you're always trying to do that. So that's the main difference, really.
Okay, now we talked to PJ about how he got into this. How did you get into it?
Mine's a bit around the houses. I've always written, and I started writing my own comics, and with quite a good group of friends that kind of collaborate on comics, and I was writing it, I knew people that could pencil, I knew people that could ink, and I could just about letter. I didn't know anyone could colour. And probably if I'd known how hard it was going to be, I might not have even started, but I thought, well, I'll try. I'll see. So I sat down with Photoshop and tried to colour some comics, and they were dreadful, but kind of time passed and I got more and more comfortable with it. So I actually started as a writer and then ended up colouring, and now I've ended up writing. So it's kind of gone in a bit of a zigzag, but yeah, mine was much the same. You make people, you make connections, you work with people. I did an awful lot of stuff just for the love of it. Worked with artists who I admired who either hadn't had a break yet or were kind of on the cusp. And when they got their break, they said, "Well, I know this guy that does, colours my work really well. I'd like him to do it." So you end up kind of opening doors for other people, and people open doors for you. And beyond that, it's been the one thing is portfolio reviews. So wherever there's been an editor from any of the comic book companies, regardless of whether they're small, large, national or international, I've gone and I've taken my portfolio and said, look at my work. And I still do that, to be honest, even though I have work published, I still, make the time to go up to someone from Marvel or what have you and say, here's my work, and get feedback, because you're always trying to get better and hopefully get work as well. So.
Now, Steve, we'll move on to yourself. Councillor Town, Jennifer Wilde, and now you've moved on to your work with No the Savage Boy, the first issue of which was on a review on the website. It's getting really great reviews. Now, like PJ, you're sort of a local boy. How did you get into this as well? We'll start at the basics and then we'll go from there. How did you get into it?
Okay, I think from a very young age, I always said I would never have a real job. That was the sort of goal in life. I started off for a couple of years playing music and sort of turning around. I toured with a dance troupe playing flute around the world for a couple of years. But I always said when I grow up, I want to draw comics. But it was like 18, 19, 20, and I was still saying when I grow up, I want to draw comics. But I used to work in Talisman, the comic store, and through there I'd heard about the Derry Comic Convention and the 2D Comic Convention. And so I went, I should probably sit down and draw some comic pages. And I did a quick sample, brought it up there, and I found there was no editors, it was all other creators. They sort of said if you go to the Bristol and Birmingham Comic Cons over in England, that's where you'll meet all the sort of publishers. So I went to Bristol, did a little sort of 4-page portfolio, and showed it to Insomnia, who are here now gone, but they I started to Insomnia and a couple of other small publishers, and then a couple of months later I got an email from Insomnia saying, "Do you want to draw a Cancer Town? I have this book by the writer of Starship Troopers, and he really wants to do this book." And I was like, same thing with PJ, I started drawing pages and didn't ask how much I was getting paid. And then it says, "Oh, by the way, it's a 150-page book and you're not getting paid." And I was like, well, I've started, so I might as well finish off. So a year later, I didn't know, usually you sort of had to go through your school of comics, and did a small press or through, you know, some creator own work. So I spent a year drawing Cantertown, and then spent a year drawing Slaughterman's Creed, and then I said, okay, that's my school years of learning how to draw comics. I'll now go professional. And this time emails all around all the different publishers who I've met throughout those 2 years. And then Rob got back to me the same week and said, do you want to come on and draw Leonard Boyd? And I'll pay you to draw Leonard Boyd. And I was like, yeah, sounds good. And I've been working for Rob for about a year now, and he keeps giving me more comics to draw. So